Hey everyone, I'm so excited to be with you today. Today I'm going to be talking about the power of journaling. I know this is something that I've always struggled with over the years, but there was some little question that really jumped out of me that inspired me to have this particular discussion. Have you ever had the situation where you're looking for the answer? You just can't find the answer. But the truth of it is actually in your head. You've learnt about it, but you just cannot find it. You see, what journaling actually does for us, and it can feel very, very strange at first, but what it actually does for us, it allows us to just get all that information out onto a particular page, especially when there's a lot of noise that happens around us. Now, the first time that you start to journal, I know that first time I tried to do it, it felt like one of those typical Dear Diary type of days. But the truth of it is, journaling does not only have to be about memories of your day or week or something that happened that you just want to highlight. Journaling can actually be used in a more powerful way to help you to find questions that will help you to find the answer to questions. You see, most of us, every single day, we're actually carrying this constant stream of thoughts, emotions, questions on an ongoing basis, and you're trying to process everything mentally, and it can start feeling overwhelming. Trying to keep everything in your head, you actually end up with a bit of a migraine. And when I actually started to look at this and really start to pull back all those different layers, what really jumped out at me is you're actually not lacking clarity in your particular life. What you're actually trying to do is you're trying to solve these complex problems, but just in the wrong place. You see, you're trying to solve them in your head. And that's why in this particular session, I want to talk about the power of journaling. Because if you use it in the method that I'm going to teach you today, and I'm going to share 5 of these tips, what it's going to do, it's going to help to really answer a lot of those questions in your life. Now, I've had this where I've gone out and I just cannot sleep. I've got so many thoughts going through your head, and I'm pretty sure you've had the exact same thing. And then you go and you attempt this. You pick up a piece of paper, whatever you're thinking about, you write it down. You put that pen and paper down, you put your head on the pillow, and next minute, you fall asleep. It's one of the most amazing little tips and tricks that was shared with me. And I then took that a little bit further. I actually then thought to myself, well, if I'm trying to solve a complex problem and I just cannot get through it, I started to write it down. I started to write down all the thoughts that were in my head. I started writing down the questions that were in my head. I started to write down everything that I was thinking about until I got to that point where actually I could feel my shoulders just lightening a little bit. And then the most amazing thing started to happen. I started to re-look at that problem, and the solution was like so obvious to me. And it was from there that I came to realize that journaling, not the traditional journaling, writing dear diary, as I said, but journaling to help clear the clutter actually helps you to solve so many different areas of your life. And it actually can help you in business and professional to solve those problems. So I want to share with you 5 different tips that I actually broke down to really get some clarity on how you can actually do this, what you can actually start to look for. So, tip number 1, lead with curiosity, not judgment. So, what I want you to do when you're doing this for the first time, don't approach the journaling like you're having a meeting with yourself for the very first time, very formal. And all right, I need to say point number 1, and I write it down. No, just write down curious questions. I find that if I'm looking at something and I say, how do I solve this problem? Well, let me write down the first idea that comes in my head. Well, what if I spoke to this person? What if I did this? What if I did that? And by just writing down questions, what you're going to find, you gain more clarity around that. So the first is lead with curiosity, not judgment. Just take that piece of paper. When you've got a problem, just write down as many questions as you can. And what you're going to find is this genuine curiosity that you actually express on a page and you read it back. Suddenly, the clarity of the answer becomes, I won't say 100% obvious, but it does become more clearer for you. So lead with curiosity. Don't judge yourself when you're writing everything down. And then the second one is, well, now that you've got that curiosity and you've asked the questions, answer them. You see, you're going to go through this process and you're going to document so many questions. You're going to document so much about you. And I will add into this. When you're writing questions, suddenly a little idea is going to pop in your head. Hey, I need to buy some mayonnaise. Hey, I need to actually remember to take the rubbish out. Write that down on the page as well, because that's going to filter amongst your brain and you want to just clear that out. So if there's some additional thoughts that come in, side note, just write them down to get them out of the way. But now going back, tip 1, be curious, get those questions out. Tip 2, look at each one of those questions and give it an answer. Hey, what if I did this today? Well, if I did this today, I'd be able to do that tomorrow. Answer each one of the questions because it's actually the answers that is more important than the question. The question just starts to invoke more curiosity. It's the answers that you write down, that you journal, that suddenly it becomes more clarity. Okay, I can do this, I can do that. This is amazing. And you're going to feel this level of excitement that comes inside of you. Then tip number 3, and this is where when I first did this, I kind of just touched the surface. I didn't go real deep in all of it. And I found that I wasn't truly getting the answers that I wanted to. So what would happen was I would ask a few questions, get a few answers, and then I'd go on to another topic and ask a few questions and get a few answers, and then on to another topic and do the same. So really what I was doing is I was lily padding it. I was just hitting the surface every single time. Tip number 3, go deep. Break the lily pad. Go deep to the roots. Go down to the bottom. Go down and say, it's not about one question, because sometimes you ask the question, you get an answer. Well, take that answer and actually add another question to it. Say, well, that's my answer. What is the next question? And do that. And I normally suggest in a coaching type of discussion, go 5 levels deep. In other words, ask one question, get an answer. That's level 1. Ask another question, get an answer. That's level 2. Go 5 levels deep. And what you're going to find, the deeper you go, the more clarity you actually find. And you'll actually come up with some amazing, amazing results that you never thought about. But just asking those questions, this is where the true insights actually happen. This is where the true light bulb moments actually happen, is going deeper. So ask the questions, answer the questions, repeat that 5 levels deep. Get that down, because the deeper you go, the more clarity, the more information, it becomes such amazing when you go down there. The 4th, and this is really now where we circle back with these questions with problems, but get it out of your head and put it onto paper, just like I shared with you. You get into bed, you've had a very, very exciting and busy day. Your mind is still spinning and thinking about so many different things, but you just can't sleep. You toss and you turn. Or you might be sitting in a meeting and you start daydreaming, thinking, oh, wait, I need to do this and I need to do that. And someone asks you a question and you've got that blank face. It's these moments that the journaling really starts to help. You need to get it out of your head and onto paper, whatever you're thinking about. And remember, the thoughts that you have, they are complex. Oh my goodness, these thoughts in your head are complex. But more importantly, every thought is interconnected with another thought from a different angle. And trying to articulate this is confusion. When you take all of these thoughts from your head and you put it onto paper and you can visually see it, what actually happens, it starts to simplify and actually starts to organize them. And then what happens is you start getting a bit more clarity. Now, just as I shared, when you are in bed, tossing and turning and writing everything down, it's just saying, hey, rest. I've written it down. You don't have to remember this, because that's what your brain is doing. It's saying, hey, keep it top of mind, keep it top of mind, but you need to remember this. You need to remember that. So don't forget about this. Write it all down and it goes, thank you. I will rest. It's an amazing, powerful tool that you can actually do. So make sure that when you're in those situations where your head is spinning and you're trying to think of these complex, just write them down, put them into some organization, and you're going to start seeing how simple the clarity is to actually understand it. So that's the fourth. Get it out of your head and put it onto the actual paper. And the fifth one is making it a habit. Get into a daily routine where what you typically do is you actually will then say, you know what, I want to take 10 minutes a day. Maybe it's in the evening. And I just want to create this particular journaling habit so that I can clear my mind to sleep well. Maybe it's one of those things where you wake up in the morning and you go, I feel overwhelmed when I get into the office. So take 10 minutes in the morning before you leave for work and do the exercise. Write it all down. Take that piece of paper, put it in your bag, put it in your pocket, get to the office, open it up and say, I have the clarity. You see, by removing all of those complexities of trying to remember it, and then adding that travel into the office, that little walk from the car to your desk, where you're passing by people that are asking you questions, giving you new demands, then you forget things, your stress level starts to go up. So just take 10 minutes in the morning if you feel overwhelmed in your day to actually clear it out. Take 10 minutes in the evening if you're battling to sleep and you're tossing and you're turning. It's the journaling that actually just helps. You see, these are very, very powerful awareness exercises. And the great thing is, it gives you a positive result. It gives you a positive feeling. And it's this positive feeling that really starts to almost encourage you to do this on a daily basis. And it's on a daily basis that I actually want you to go ahead and actually do this. So let's have a look at those 5 tips that I shared with you. The very first one, lead with curiosity. Ask those questions, just brain dump those questions on a piece of paper. The second one, answer those questions. Make sure that every question you've put down, you answer them. The third one, don't lily pad them. Go deep. Take each one of those answers and ask another question and give it an answer. And then go another question, go 5 levels deep on all of that. The fourth one, get it out of your head, put it onto paper. It's the clarity of being able to read it that removes the complexity, and it actually simplifies and organizes it for you. And you go, oh, now I can see it. The fifth one, make it a daily ritual. If you're finding that you're having trouble when you get into the office because there's just so much to do, you just don't know where to start, take 10 minutes in the morning, maybe 15 minutes, maybe 5 minutes. Maybe that's all that's required. If you're battling to sleep, do it in the evenings before you go to bed. Before you go to sleep, just get out all that information. Whatever your thought processes were, just put it onto a piece of paper. You will find the more you journal, the more your brain becomes clearer. You start seeing with clarity. And that's what we want you to have as you're going forward. Now, through this, I found this quote, and I thought it was pretty appropriate for this particular session. And it goes like this: clarity doesn't come from thinking more, it comes from seeing your thoughts clearly. I thought that was such a powerful quote to end this particular session. Clarity doesn't come from thinking more, it comes from seeing your thoughts clearly. In this particular session, I want you now to schedule some time to do one of those tips, one of those little activities that I've shared with you today. Put that into your calendar, try it out. I want you to commit to doing that, because learning is creating an awareness, but it's the actions that you take that's actually going to create the results. So until our next session, I'm looking forward to seeing you then.